video is going to go a little more in depth. We're going to be graphing the line given 2 points. So we're looking for the equation of the line, and these are our 2 points given. If you remember, when we're looking for an equation, we're going to need to have slope. It's one of the key factors in an equation, no matter what equation you choose. So to start with, we're going to find the slope of these 2 points. Find the slope, we're going to change in y over change in x. This is going to be x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. Here we go. Change in y over the change in x. X or y sub 2, 5 minus 3 over negative 4 minus 2. End up with 2 over negative 6. This needs to be simplified. My slope is negative 1/3. Now I'm going to use our point slope form, which is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We now know what our m is, and we can choose either one of these points to substitute in for our y and our x. I'm just going to continue with this one for no other reason than it's what I already had listed before. Y minus 3 equals negative 1/3 times x minus 2. I'm going to distribute. I'm going to continue to solve for y because I want it in that y equals mx plus b form. To do that, I'm going to have y minus 3 equals negative 1/3 x minus, actually it's going to be a plus because I'm going to have a negative times a negative, which makes a positive, plus 2/3. With this, I need to add 3 and add 3. Y equals negative 1/3 x plus 3 and 2/3. It does not matter, whoopsie, it does not matter which one you pick, because even if I were to pick the negative 4, 5 point, I'm still going to end up with this exact same equation. Okay. Now we're going to graph this. For me, I would do 2/3 or 2, 3 over 1, 2 of 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to use my slope of negative 1/3. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, 2, 3, and down 1 over 1, 2, 3. And here is my line. We have been looking at this equation quite a bit, this y equals mx plus b form. And we're going to continue with that and use that in in many different ways now. Looking at these graphs, this is showing you how your y-intercept, so your y-intercept remains the same, but your slope changes. So this one has a negative slope. This one has a positive slope. This one also has a positive slope, but notice this slope would be 1. There'd be like quote unquote a 1 in front of there. This one has a 3, so this graph is steeper. Looking at the exact same thing here, I want you to notice what happens in this one. Instead, this one, your y-intercept stayed the same. So we're all coming off this common point, but your graph kind of changed. Look at this. What's changing here is your y-intercept. This one would be like plus 0, your y, and a minus 1. They're all the exact same. The slope is the same. Notice they're all going to be parallel lines. Example 8. Find the slope, m, and the y-intercept, b, of the equation 2x plus 4y equals 8, and then graph this up. So we're looking for our m and our b if this is our equation. In order to do that, I want this to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. In other words, I want to solve for y. Goal, solve for y. I'm going to solve for y. I need to subtract this 2x. So subtract 2x from this side, subtract 2x from this side, and I have 4y equals negative 2x plus 8. Continue to solve for y. Divide by 4, divide everything over here by 4. Y equals negative 2/4 x plus 2. This slope needs to simplify. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. And this then is our equation. This would be our equation in that y equals mx plus b form. Our m, we're going to pull right from here. Our m is also known as our slope. So our slope is negative 1/2. And our y-intercept, or our b, is at 2. What that means is on the y, we should cross it at 0, 2. So 0, 2. Our graph should go through that. Okay? Once we have this and we use our y-intercept, we can use our slope to continue to graph this. Up 1 over 1, 2, down 1 over 1, 2. And this would be our equation. How do we get that? Well, we used our slope-intercept form over here. Our y-intercept is 2 from this equation. So we know we're going to be at 0, 2, which is where we got this point, 0, 2. Then we are using our slope, which is negative 1/2, so up 1 over 1, 2, and we just continue to graph like we had in the previous videos. All right, looking at the general form. The general form is where we have x plus y equals c. That's actually what we just had right up here. This would be in the general form. Looking at the general form, it just is a way for us to say, hey, we're going to need to solve for y. Typically, we don't like to leave it in this form. It's just another way to write something though. We're going to graph this. If we're going to graph this, actually we just did this. One of the things we could do is we could find the x-intercepts. In order to find the x-intercept, we need to let y equals 0. So if 2x equals 8, I'm not even going to substitute that in because if I put in 0 for y, this is all going to cancel out. So I'm going to be left with this. X equals 4. So my x-intercept would be at 4, 0. Y-intercept, let my x equal 0. So y-intercept would be at 4, y equals 8, y equals 2, 0, 2, which we actually found in this previous example, in example 8. Once we found those two, we can also graph those, and they should be on our graph. And indeed, if you look over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, it should be over a little more. We do have those points on our graph that we've already done.